There are dozens of cybersecurity certifications out there. Some of them can open doors to high-paying jobs, help you break into the field, or push you into management. Others are either outdated, overpriced, or simply not worth your time. In this video, I'm ranking the most relevant cybersecurity certifications into a tier list, from S tier, the absolute gold standards, all the way down to D tier, the ones I'd honestly avoid. Let's get started. We'll kick this off with a certification everyone has heard of, CEH, the Certified Ethical Hacker. This one has been around for years and is still marketed heavily. It covers a wide range of hacking tools and techniques, and definitely gives you exposure to the offensive side of cybersecurity. But here's the reality. It's a bit expensive for what you get, and compared to other options, the hands-on part isn't very strong. Many employers see CEH as a nice-to-have, but not as proof that you can really do penetration testing. It's more theory-driven, and a lot of people use it simply to tick a box. So where do I place it? For me, CEH is B tier. It's recognizable, it can help beginners start, but if you're serious about offensive security, you'll eventually want something more advanced and hands-on. Now, let's balance that with a cert I consider a must-have, CompTIA Security Plus. This is hands down the best entry-level certification in cybersecurity. Why? Because it's affordable, vendor-neutral, and widely recognized worldwide. Employers often list Security Plus as a baseline requirement, especially for junior roles. It covers a broad foundation: networks, encryption, access control, threat management, basically everything you need to get your foot in the door. And here's the thing, even if you move into advanced certs later, Security Plus still holds value because it shows you have solid fundamentals. So for me, Security Plus goes straight into S tier. If you're new to cyber, this is the one to start with. Next, let's go to the CHFI, the Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator. This one sounds amazing. Digital forensics, recovering data, investigating breaches, but in practice, it's outdated, very expensive, and not recognized by most employers. If you really want to go into forensics, there are definitely more respected certifications out there. CHFI, by comparison, feels more like a marketing product than a true industry standard. So for me, CHFI is D tier. I'd avoid it, unless your employer pays for it and you just want another line on your resume. Next up is CompTIA CYSA Plus, the Cybersecurity Analyst certification. This one doesn't get as much hype as Security Plus, but it's a very practical certification if you want to work on the defensive side of cybersecurity. CYSA Plus is aimed at people working in SOCs, Security Operations Centers, and it focuses on day-to-day blue team tasks. It covers things like continuous monitoring, detecting malicious activity, analyzing logs, using SIEM tools, and even responding to incidents. In other words, it builds the skills you actually need in an analyst role beyond just theory. If you already have Security Plus, CYSA Plus is a natural next step because it takes you from foundational knowledge into applied defense. Employers value it for SOC analysts, junior incident responders, and blue team specialists. That's why I'd place CYSA Plus in A tier. It's not as universally recognized as Security Plus, but for anyone aiming for a hands-on defensive career path, it's extremely relevant. Now let's jump to a true heavyweight, CISSP, the Certified Information Systems Security Professional. This is the gold standard for senior level in management positions. It covers everything: security and risk management, network security, software development security, cryptography, governance, basically the entire common body of knowledge. The exam is tough, and you also need at least 5 years of professional experience to hold the certification. But once you have it, doors open. CISSP is required in many government and enterprise jobs, and it signals that you're ready for leadership. That's why CISSP goes straight into S tier. If you want to move beyond technical roles into management or senior security leadership, this is almost mandatory. Let's move into the cloud, because that's where the industry is going. First, AWS Certified Security Specialty. AWS dominates the cloud market, and this cert proves you can design and implement security controls in AWS. Employers love it. And if you're in a company that uses AWS, it's extremely valuable. But it's not vendor neutral. It locks you into the AWS ecosystem. That's a key reason why I place it in A tier instead of S. Similarly, the Google Professional Cloud Security Engineer. It's not as popular as AWS, but in certain industries, Google Cloud is huge. Having this cert shows you can secure workloads in Google's ecosystem. Again, very strong, but not vendor neutral. So this also belongs in A tier. Both are excellent career boosters, but not broad enough for S tier. Now let's talk about CISM, the Certified Information Security Manager. This certification is sometimes compared to CISSP, but the focus is different. CISSP proves broad knowledge across technical and management domains, while CISM is more focused on governance, strategy, and managing security programs. It's designed for people who want to move into leadership roles. Think security managers, security officers, or CISOs in the making. CISM shows that you can align security with business goals, handle risk, and oversee teams. It's not very technical, and that's why some hands-on professionals don't find it useful. But in the right career path, it's extremely powerful. That's why I'd put CISM into A tier. It's not quite the universal heavyweight that CISSP is, but in the world of security management, it carries a lot of weight. On the audit and compliance side, we have CISA, the Certified Information Systems Auditor. This certification is huge for anyone in IT auditing, risk management, or governance. It shows that you can assess controls, evaluate compliance, and spot weaknesses in information systems. In consulting firms, financial institutions, and enterprises with strong compliance requirements, CISA is often either required or strongly preferred. It's internationally recognized and respected by employers, especially in industries where audits and regulatory standards are critical. If your career path leans toward audit, risk, or governance, CISA is a fantastic choice. It doesn't make you a hands-on hacker or SOC analyst, but it positions you as someone who understands oversight and control. For me, that's a clear A tier. Not for everyone, but in its domain, it's one of the most valuable certifications you can get. Next is CRISC, Risk and Information Systems Control. This certification is all about IT risk management, identifying, assessing, and responding to risks at an enterprise level. It's designed for professionals who bridge the gap between business and security, making sure that technology risks are understood and managed properly. If you're in governance or risk roles, CRISC can be very valuable because it signals that you understand both the technical side of risks and the business implications. But here's the catch. Outside of those specialized areas, most cybersecurity practitioners won't need it. That's why I'd place CRISC in C tier. In its niche, it's a strong credential, but for the majority of security careers, it's just too specialized. Now, let's go back to the offensive side. OSCP, the Offensive Security Certified Professional. This is one of the most respected and well-known certifications in penetration testing. The exam is famous for being tough. You get a vulnerable environment with multiple machines and a limited time window to break in, escalate privileges, and document everything you've done. What sets OSCP apart is that it's completely hands-on. Passing it proves that you're not just familiar with theory, but that you can actually apply skills under pressure, think creatively, and solve real-world problems. Employers know that if you hold OSCP, you've put in the work and can back up your knowledge with practical ability. That's why OSCP is pure S tier. For anyone aiming to work in penetration testing, red teaming, or offensive security in general, this is the certification that earns massive respect in the industry. Then we've got OSWE and OSCP. These are advanced certs from offensive security. They're fantastic if you want to specialize in exploit development or advanced red team ops, but most employers don't even recognize them by name. So while they're great for specialists, I'd place them in C tier. Hardcore, but too niche for general career impact. On the GIAC side, we have GPEN, the GIAC Penetration Tester. This is a very well-respected certification that validates strong skills in penetration testing. Unlike some entry-level certs, GPEN dives into areas like advanced password attacks, exploitation, and even post-exploitation techniques. The big advantage of GIAC exams is that they're very comprehensive and recognized by employers who know the SANS Institute's reputation for high-quality training. The downside is the cost. GIAC certifications are some of the most expensive in the industry. Still, if you or your employer can cover the cost, GPEN is a fantastic certification to have on your resume. That's why I'd put GPEN in A tier. Not quite as universally recognized as OSCP, but still an excellent high-quality credential. And then there's GRM, the GIAC Reverse Engineering Malware Certification. This one is highly specialized. It proves you can dissect malicious code, understand how malware works, and even reverse engineer binaries. That's an incredible incredibly valuable skill set for threat intelligence, incident response, and advanced SOC teams. The problem is, it's extremely difficult and very niche. Most cybersecurity professionals will never need to reverse engineer malware at this depth, and many employers won't specifically ask for it. That's why it's more of a specialist certification than a general career booster. For me, that makes GREM a C-tier certification. Absolutely top-notch for malware analysts, but not broadly relevant to most security careers. Now let's talk about CCSK, the Certificate of Cloud Security Knowledge. It's okay as an introduction to cloud security, but honestly, it doesn't hold much value compared to more advanced certs. For me, CCSK is C-tier, too basic. But then we have CCSP, the Certified Cloud Security Professional. This is one of the most valuable cloud certifications out there, and unlike AWS or Google-specific certs, CCSP is vendor neutral. That means it's not just about securing workloads in one platform. It teaches you the principles of cloud security across different providers, including governance, compliance, and architecture. It's offered by ISC2, the same organization behind CISSP, which gives it an extra layer of credibility and recognition. Employers know this isn't just a checkbox exam. It demonstrates that you understand how to secure data, applications, and infrastructure in a cloud environment, no matter whether it's AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. CCSP covers topics like cloud data protection, cloud application security, cloud platform and infrastructure security, and legal and compliance requirements. With more and more businesses moving critical workloads into the cloud, the demand for professionals with this certification is skyrocketing. That's why I place CCSP firmly in S tier. It's already a career booster, and in the coming years, it will only become more important as cloud adoption continues to grow. And finally, CCNA Security. Once valuable, but outdated now and replaced by newer Cisco certifications. In today's market, it doesn't hold much relevance anymore. That's C tier, maybe even D depending on the job. So that's my cybersecurity certification tier list. Clear S tier winners like Security Plus, CISSP, OSCP, and CCSP. Solid A tier certs like CYSA Plus, CISA, CISM, and the cloud vendor certs. And then a few you can probably skip, like CHFI or CCSK. But now it's your turn. Do you agree with my rankings? Or would you place some of these certifications higher or lower? Let me know your tier list in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more cybersecurity deep dives.